So a lot of people say that if they could go back in time, they would go back in time. Like if they messed up right now, like they'd be like, man, if I could go back 5 years, man, like I would do this and this instead. And I don't agree with that. And I'm ready to tell you why. For example, I first got my CDLs when I was 21, but I wasn't ready for I wasn't ready to actually be a trucker. Like I was working for a small company. I was uh I was regional, but I was working for a small company. So fresh out of school, it was this dude, you know what I'm saying? The dude I used to work with, he put me onto the job, but the dude was more lenient, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really care. So it was certain stuff that I was still doing while I had my CDLs that could have cost me my CDLs. So, and on top of that, I wasn't I wasn't parking at truck stops. My backing wasn't really all that, but I never the like 8 to 9 months I trucked when I was 21. I never parked at a truck stop. I knew nothing about that. I only parked on like the side of the highways, or yeah, that's really it. It was either the side of the highways or it was like the ramp on like rest areas and stuff like that. Other than that, I never parked at a truck stop. I didn't even know about like maybe getting gas or the one truck stop the way we kept the truck at, the pilot. You know what I'm saying? That was it. That was the only truck stop I went to. Other than that, I was getting gas at like anywhere that I seen. Like I wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a real small business and it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, how the mega carriers be. So I'm saying I still was dealing with credit card debt, and I was making money. I was making the money enough to pay it off, but I still wasn't like really basking in like, oh, I need to get my credit right. Like I'm still making the money, and I'm looking at it like, damn, I could put a couple hundred to it, but I'm just paying the minimum off. Like I'm not even, you know what I'm saying? So once I stopped doing that, not understanding how important it was, now I'm back working the warehouse jobs. Now I went to Wawa with my homie, and then I started getting into the warehouse jobs. I was working at like UPS. You know what I'm saying, I worked at Lutron, and um. Oh no. I worked at Lutron before I got my CDLs. I'm tripping. I did work at Wawa. I worked at UPS. You know what I'm saying. I worked at Owens and Minor. You know what I'm saying. I worked at Standard Motor Parts, and then eventually I got to Walmart doing the yard driver job. But working the warehouse jobs helped me realize like, bro, I do not want to keep working this. Like, I'm driving the same route every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the same people. I got to deal with the warehouse politics. And now I'm discovering that, like, this is not for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still speeding in my car and stuff like that. I'm like, I was supposed to, originally, I was supposed to start trucking back in like 2023, like 2024. And on the way from North Carolina, I got speeding ticket. Bro, I was going like a 97 and a 70, bro. Like the weekend, I'm supposed to go that Monday, that Wednesday, the weekend before. I'm speeding in my like not thinking, bro. Still not even understanding. Like so, even though, but then I didn't know Western Express was a second chance company. I didn't, but um, regardless, so that you know what I'm saying. So I thought I held myself back. So then I ended up working at Walmart for the yard driver jump, and I'm like, all right, bro. Like, yeah, this is the final straw. Like, I was there for 2 years. They won't trying to get me to the associate driver program. So I'm like, all right. So another thing, money. So when I was, you know what I'm saying, years prior, I knew I've been investing in the stock market since I was 21. So I always understood the value of like taking $10 right now and putting it away for like the next 3 months, but doing that in large quantities. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the value of putting money down right now for the next 5 to 10 years. A lot of people my age didn't understand that, but I understood that because I did research and was like, all right, well, everybody's getting rich through stock market, real estate, or starting a business or whatever. So I can passively just put money into the stock. You know what I'm saying? So that I understood, but I was so hell bent on like building like long term wealth or whatever. I wasn't saving my money. So like I would get to like my buy and hold. I'll have like 2,000, almost $3,000 in there, right? And then a financial crisis will happen, and I gotta sell all my stocks to pay it off because I don't even. Like, it was one time I had like $1,000 tax liability because I didn't have no state tax coming out of my check when I was at Walmart, and I didn't even know that. Like, when you do the W-4, like this ain't advice or nothing like that, but you're not supposed to claim yourself. If you're single and you're doing a W-4, You're not supposed to claim yourself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that, and this is not advice. That wasn't advice I gave you. But you know what I'm saying? So when I was doing my taxes, she was like, "Yeah, you didn't have no state tax coming out," and I'm like, "What?" So I had like $1,000 bill or whatever, and I didn't have the money and I didn't want to do a payment plan. So the only way I could do it was selling my assets to pay it off. You know what I'm saying? Then later that month in June, I ended up, you know what I'm saying, hitting another financial crisis and I had to take all my money out. So now I got to start all over again. But I had no savings cushion. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't understand. Like I'm just thinking like, bro, put all your money in the market, let it go, da da da. But it's like, what about the right now? You know what I'm saying? So through those years, now I'm understanding like, well, now I understand like, okay, well, if I'm trucking, living in a truck, I need to have expenses. So now I'm actually, well, I need to have a savings cushion for expenses. You know what I'm saying? So like when I go back home and when I do all these other things, so now I'm like, all right, so now I'm investing, but I'm also saving though. So now I'm like, I actually have like a savings goal because I want to, you know what I'm saying, get my own truck and stuff like that. So through the check, like I know like a weekly, I have like a minimum week that I'm putting in. And like I said in my previous videos, when I was talking about building systems and stuff like that, thinking in systems, thinking in salary, I think it was like episode 3 or 4 or something like that. I said, I think of my money militant. So like so like the money I save is like, I think these are the soldiers I have like protected home base. And like the money I invest in stuff like that is like, um, soldiers I'm deploying to like take over new territory, invade territory, stuff like that. So it helps me like in my mind. It kind of keeps me more like it's a game. So it makes me want to save more, not spend money on like truck stop food and stuff like that. Like in that same video, I talk about how I struggle with the truck stop food because that shit addictive and that shit good as hell. So like I said, I park at rest areas. You see, I'm parked at a rest area because I'm not ordering DoorDash to no goddamn rest area. So I know I'm not gonna do that. But I'm in the truck eating turkey, spinach, and tomato sandwich. But my brain is like, bro, I want some chips. I want some candy. I want some juice. So I'm in that bitch like struggling, trying not to goddamn order the DoorDash because I can't take the truck to goddamn. It's gonna start my clock, so I can't move the truck. So I'm like, so now I gotta find ways to occupy myself. But granted, you know, like I'm studying the tax code and I'm learning Spanish and stuff like that. So I got things to occupy my mind, but it's still like, bro, like the sweet tooth, like, bro, I want some candy, I want some juice, I want, you know what I'm saying? So all in all, in conclusion, it's like a lot of people would say that they didn't, that they would want to go back in time if they could change something. But if I went back to 21, if I went back to I was 22 and changed everything, I would have got to this point with no hardship, no turmoil, nothing like that. So if I was just constantly stacking my money, doing what I was supposed to, what would have happened when I finally did hit a financial crisis? Like I wouldn't have really known how to navigate through it because now once you go through the, you know what I'm saying, once you go through turmoil and stuff like that, now you know like, all right, I don't want to deal with this. Like I don't want to have to come into another unexpected expense and I gotta sell all my stocks to pay it off. Now I don't have no savings and I don't have no investments. You know what I'm saying? Like I already went through that. It really took me like 2, 3 times to do that before I understood that okay, I need to start saving most of my money and then once I have a nice savings cushion, then start putting my money other places. But if I would have went back to 21 and just started doing it, when I would have if I would have had a like a really unexpected expense, I wouldn't known how to navigate it because I ain't never been in this situation before. So it's like not when you not going through the hardship doesn't give you no wisdom per se. So you don't really know like what it is that you need to learn from your situation. So now that I'm 27, I can look back at 21, 22 and be like, okay, all right, I was messing up. I won't save my money. Now that I'm trucking and I'm living in the truck, all right, now I understand like the importance of having a savings cushion first. Now I know why I should stop at the rest areas instead of buying the truck food that's easily like $100 a week easy if you don't pay attention to it. Like that shit is crazy. But you know what I'm saying? So I know this is my second time saying in conclusion, but in conclusion, like going back isn't gonna solve anything. You're just gonna prolong whatever hardship you go to. So if I would have went back and boom, did everything. If you go back right now, like if you're in your early 20s, even if you're in your 30s and you go back to when you was 16, 17 and changed it, now that you at 30, 35, 40, you wouldn't have even known like what it is you need to change. You know what I'm saying? Even if you in your mid 20s, like you go back to, you know what I'm saying, early 20s, 18, like you wouldn't have known what to change. You would have just hit that right now. So imagine you had no hardships or nothing and you know what I'm saying, we get to 30, 35, 40, and we've never had no real financial turmoil. So now that we get hit, we like, bro, we 40 and we don't know how to handle when things get rough. That'd be crazy, you know what I'm saying? So cause you never know. Like you could have 20, 10 bands stacked up and then something happen where like you gotta like damn near all of that go down, you down to like 1,000. And now you got all these, you know what I'm saying, depending on if you didn't live frugal and you living up to your means, now you got all these bills and stuff like that. Now you like, bro, how the hell I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? Cause this is unfamiliar territory to you. But now we know, like, now we know if you have a savings cushion first, yeah, the savings might take a little hit, but you know, like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I was prepared. So now I was able to, you know what I'm saying, take care of it. Now I know what I need to do. Now I know I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, sacrifice a little more, but I've already been doing that. So the starting over, repeating, it does get tiresome sometimes, but you understand what you need to do. But if you've never been through the starting over, picking back up, starting over phase earlier in your life, when you get older in your life, now that shit is really tiresome. Now you damn near might give up. You know what I'm saying? We know about a lot of people that just be like, man, it's whatever. They just give up type shit. And then, like their life just spiraled downhill for real.